Good day, everyone. Our group will be presenting our collaborative work about multicultural and global literacy. The members of our group are Doc Simafranca, Jimari Datolio, Kevin Diginion, and Zenas Armando.
So before we will discuss this module, we will first enumerate the learning outcomes. Number 1, discuss global and multicultural literacy. Number 2, illustrate the global competency framework. Number 3, explain the dimensions of multiculturalism. Number 4, elucidate the assessment strategy for global competence and global understanding. Number 5, present effective ways on how to integrate global multiculturalism in the lesson using appropriate delivery strategies, instructional materials, and assessment tools. Number 6, draw relevant life lessons and significant values from personal experience in demonstrating multicultural literacy. 7, analyze research abstract in global and multicultural literacy and its implications in the teaching learning process. And last, draft relevant policy in addressing multiculturalism in school. So, multicultural literacy consists of the skills and ability to identify the creators of knowledge and their interest. From Banks, 1996. So, according to Banks, 1996, multicultural literacy is about skills on how we are going to respect and understand others, respecting their perspectives, their identity, their knowledge, interest, and how we are going to take different perspectives of others. Multicultural literacy is also involved in education. Education for multicultural literacy should help students to develop 21st century skills and attitudes that are needed to become active citizens who will work hard achieving social justice within communities because of the growing racial, language, and ethnic diversity in the country. Multicultural literacy needs to be transferred in substantial ways to prepare students to function effectively in the 21st century. This is from Boots 2008. So in terms of education, the role of multicultural literacy is to help students to develop 21st century skills like learning skills such as critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. In terms of literacy, these are the skills the students should have, like information, knowing media, technology, and life skills that we should develop, like flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Those mentioned skills will help students to become active citizens that will work in achieving social justice in our community and even across the world. Moreover, it also gives a deeper understanding on others' interests, culture, and ability that will serve as a knowledge on how we can prevent social issues like depression and oppression and to know the perspective of other people. Just like multicultural literacy, the goal of global literacy is to raise awareness on the different social issues and how to address those issues and to understand others despite having differences. With the help of global literacy, we are able to understand the perspective of others, make decisions that can have good benefits and positive impact to everyone. As a student, we should take action about social issues and tell everyone that we are equal despite having differences. That would create positive impact and to help change the world into something better. According to the Ontario Ministry of Education, a global citizen should possess the following characteristics. So, number 1, respect for humans regardless of race, gender, religion, and political perspectives. So, we should respect others despite us having differences. Next, respect for diversity and various perspectives. So, respect is very important, especially having different races, cultures, and even organization, and also the ideas and their perspectives. Next, promote sustainable patterns of living, consumption, and production. Refuse using plastic, saving energy and others, and being progressive in the consumption and production. Next is appreciate the natural world and demonstrate respect and the right of all living things. So respect should be practiced everywhere. We should respect everything in this world, and in fact, everyone is deserved to be respected. So at this point, we will now discuss the interconnecting of multicultural and global literacy. So every classroom contains of different students of different races, religions, and cultural groups. Aware that students embrace diverse behaviors, cultural values, patterns, and practice, and communication. Yet, they all share one community, which is the educational opportunity. This is from Wu 2014. So, in every classroom, there are lots of differences in terms of races, cultures, religion, that are basically leads to bullying or even discrimination. As a future educator, we should raise awareness in our classroom, teach students to respect others despite of having differences, create friendly, a peaceful environment that would everyone should practice, especially respecting others and accepting them. Lastly, the knowledge about multicultural literacy and global literacy should be implemented and applied in every classroom. So again, the four dimensions of this framework is knowledge, values, attitudes, and skills. So we will start with the knowledge. Examine global, local, and intercultural issues. So for us to become globally competent, we should have the knowledge about the issues around us. Next is the values. Understand and appreciate the perspectives of others. So after having the knowledge about the issues around us, we should have to start understand and appreciate others. Next is the attitude, which is to engage in open, appropriate, and effective interactions across cultures. So having good attitude can lead us to understand, accept, and appreciate the ideas and perspectives of others and their worldviews. Next is the skills. After having the knowledge, attitude, and values, we should have to apply it. So, the skills. So, after having the knowledge, which is to know the issues around us, we have the values, appreciate and understand others, and then the attitude, which is to have effective interactions with others. Last is the skills. We have to apply this in our actions for us to find solution or take action with those issues. So we will now elaborate what is global competence. Global competence is a multi-dimensional construct that requires a combination of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values successfully applied to global issues or intercultural situations. So, this involves the four dimensions of the competence framework. So it's going to enhance the skills, values, and behavior so that we can prepare young people to the interconnected and changing world. Also about how we are going to engage ourselves as a citizen who can solve a problem in our world. So with the help of the competence framework, we are able to recognize and analyze the issue globally and locally, and also for us to understand, appreciate the perspective of others. The dimensions of multicultural education. So I have identified and listed these three dimensions of multicultural education, and they are content integration, the knowledge construction process, and personal, social, and civic action. So, content integration. So, teachers use several different approaches to integrate content about racial, ethnical, and cultural groups into the curriculum. And one of the most popular is the contributions approach. When this approach is used, teachers insert isolated facts about ethnic and cultural groups' heroes and heroines into the curriculum, without changing the structure of their lesson plans and unit. The additive approach is also frequently used by teachers to integrate content about ethnic and cultural groups into the school curriculum. In this approach, the organization and structure of the curriculum remains unchanged. Special units on ethnic and cultural groups are added to the curriculum, such as units on African Americans in the West, Indian removal, and the internment of the Japanese Americans. While an improvement over the contribution approach, the additive approach is problematic because ethnic and cultural groups remain on the margin of the mainstream curriculum. Then we have the knowledge construction and transformation. The transformation approach brings content about ethnic and cultural groups from the margin to the center of the curriculum. It helps students to understand how knowledge is constructed and how it reflects the experience, values, and perspectives of its creators. In this approach, the structure, assumptions, and perspectives of the curriculum are changed so that the concepts, events, and issues taught are viewed from the perspectives and experience of a range of racial, ethnic, and cultural groups. The center of the curriculum no longer focuses on mainstream and dominant groups, but on an event, issue, or concept that is viewed from many different perspectives and points of view. This is done while at the same time helping students to understand the nation's common heritage and tradition. Teachers should help students to understand that while they live in a diverse nation, all citizens of a nation-state share many cultural traditions, values, and political ideals that cement the nation. Multicultural education seeks to actualize the idea of pluribus unum, for example, to create a society that recognizes and respects the cultures of its diverse people within a framework of democratic values that are shared by all. Personal, social, and civic action. An important goal of multicultural education is to help students acquire the knowledge and commitments needed to make reflective decisions and to make personal, justice, and civic action to promote democracy and democratic living. Opportunities for action help students to develop a sense of personal and civic efficacy, faith in their ability to make changes in the institution in which they live, and situations to apply the knowledge they have learned. Action activities and projects should be tuned to the cognitive and moral development levels of students. Practicality and feasibility should also be important considerations. Students in the primary grades can take action by making a commitment to stop laughing at ethnic jokes that sting. Students in the early and middle grades can act by reading books about other social, ethnic, and cultural groups. Assessment strategy for global competence and global understanding. Global competence assessment measures students' capability to examine local, global, and intercultural issues to engage in open, appropriate, and effective interactions with people from different cultures and to act for collective well-being and sustainable development. Global understanding assessment, when appropriate, assignments that involve engagement in the school and local communities are ways to encourage authentic real-world interactions beyond the classroom. Consider online interactions through project-based learning with classmates in other places, as well as group assignments either face-to-face or online.